Hello everybody, welcome to my new Sunday market breakdown. So as usually we start with the DXY. So at the weekly chart, what can we still see? As previous weeks, we see on the weekly chart that we are having here still this lower high here this week that didn't got broken. It didn't close above that. So that's why we went to the downside. So the trend is still bearish. This is our lower high and this is our whole impulse lower low wick. So this wicks from that small uh, high, lower low, high, lower low here is just one impulse because here the wicks came back to the same low. So I see this as one impulse. That's why the trend was still bearish. So as you can see, we were coming very correctively till this weekly low. So we were kind of potentially making this natural W. So same lows, then we expect the same highs price coming back to the upside. But what I can now see is that the price is struggling and it's having some resistance here. So this became support because we broke a little bit below that and we acted as resistance now. What I could also see is we had here our weekly high reverse point wick. As you can see, we received a weekly blue candle. So I set my weekly reverse point high wick and we came above that. So there was taken some liquidity because the retail traders think, okay, we go to the upside, but the banks and institutes say, okay, we have found some new liquidity above that wick of that blue candle. We can go more to the downside. So yeah, so I think the price can go more to the downside and tap these weekly liquidity zones, these two ones, these two weekly wicks, these two weekly low wicks that can find DXY. Yeah, I think it will go to the downside. Maybe we can tap here a little bit lower and take some liquidity to finish. To make this bigger bearish W, or to complete that smaller one here. That can have here some resistance at to play out like this. So this can happen too. We have that weekly bearish candle close, and on the daily it will be more clear what we can see. Because on the daily you can see we are still trading very correctively with the trend. So we had here that impulse and you can see very corrective price action within these two zones. So the price is slowing down. So that can be a sign that we can have one more push below this weekly liquidity zone to take the retail traders out, and the banks and institutes like to take them buy setups and then break out of that channel to make a pattern, shoulder one, head shoulder two. That's possible, but I think it can go also more to the downside. We will see what we receive there for a pattern. If we have here some kind of diesel or pattern, then it will be much likely to go to the upside. So we'll see what will happen. So then GBPJPY is the first trade I'm looking at on the weekly, because what we can see on the weekly, we can see we touched these weekly highs and we touched also the weekly reverse point wick. So the banks and institutes took some liquidity here to take some shorts, but this candle came all the way to the downside and closed back a little bit above in the middle. So it's not that convincing for me that the sellers are so active, but we have a weekly candle. Okay, we are at the weekly highs. Okay, the selling pressure can kick in for more downside momentum, but the trend is still bullish. The trend is still bullish. So we have here our low and this is our high, and we came back to this low and we had to push again. So what can we see? We have the same high, so we can expect also the same lows. But will the price come back so heavily? We need to see what will happen then. But I just drew here my blue horizontal line here, and I saw that we have here some clear resistance, 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 a lot of resistance, and we acted as support here. So I looked further back. So if we have some support here also, and yeah, we had here some support, very nice week, and we just shoot it out so to the upside like a rocket. So it was a very impulsive move here, also some kind of support. So yeah, it's a supply and demand zone, and that's why it rejected on that, because the buyers are still sitting there on that heavy supply and demand zone. So I went till the daily, because you could take here a potential trade, because this is a new strategy of mine. If we go above that weekly reverse point, we can trade a pattern. So that this thing you could take. But what I can see here is, okay, we have that bullish M that can still play out, but we already received that bullish candle close, because it's a very impulsive lag, so it's a flat wall, but we have a weekly, daily bullish candle close. So this is a sign that the bulls are present, and we can look for a trade, even if we, tap this weekly reverse point for more downside momentum. Yeah, for me, it's now valid. It's still valid for me now. This can change maybe, so we will see. But on the 4-hour chart, I can see we made a pattern within a pattern. So it's a nice confirmation, because we had here our shoulder 1, head, then the bullish M, potential shoulder 2, pattern within a pattern, kind of ascending trend line holding the price here up. Not the clearest one, but it can still be one. And yeah, this can play out, and for around 2.6% to the 4-hour TP, stop loss just under the beginning of correction. And yeah, this can be my trade to set my limit. Then the second trade I'm looking at, EURGBP. This needs to have some more time. EURGBP, potentially not that much time also. GBPJPY is just a pattern already, but EURGBP needs to have some diesel first. So on the weekly, what can we see on the weekly? We can see on the weekly that we are bullish. We have this low, we have this high. We are in a bullish trend. We are making here the same highs. We can expect same lows, of course. But within that, impulsive flag here to the same highs, we can see we made a kind of bullish M. We made a bullish M. So in our third leg, so this is our first, second, third. In our third leg, we received some nice correction, as you can see, counter to the trend. We are receiving some slow correction, price action, as you can see. So it's a correction counter to the trend. We can trade, of course, these corrections for to sell on the highs, and then we can buy at the lows potentially. This is a thing I'm testing. But we are bullish, and we are at the weekly low. We are at the weekly low, and you can see it always reject on that, always. And now you can see that our weekly low wick just got below it and closed back above. And you can see that we had it also here. So like here, we had it also here. This was our weekly candle that came back below, and we closed above. So, and then we had some fresh liquidity to take the retail traders out, and then to buy back till the weekly highs, and then to short again till the weekly lows, then to buy again back till the weekly highs, and then to again short again till the weekly lows. So it's a nice thing to see that you can trade these corrections, and yeah, when to see them as a valid trade and when not. I think you can test it also for yourself. But yeah, we have some liquidity taken here, so the banks and institutes like to take some buy setups now, because the trend is still bullish. We were at this weekly low, buyers are sitting here, and we went every time lower. So first time here, second time here. So yeah, it can be a kind of third touch, as you can draw your line like this. So first, second, yeah, third. So this can hold the price potentially up. But yeah, we have that weekly liquidity taken. So I went to the daily, and what I saw on the daily, you can see it also on the daily. The daily is also still bullish, because we have here our low, and this is our new high. Everything between this low and high is just a long correction for potential more upside momentum. As you can see, it's trading between these lows here and these highs here. So it's very correctively moving against the trend. So this is a sign that the price is getting tired for going more upside momentum. So very nice. So we are at these daily lows. As you can see, we are at these daily lows. At this daily, you can see every time we at the daily low here, we went to the upside, and now it can happen also. I think we have also a fib completion from this high here till this low. We have a minus 27 from this high till a major low of this minus 27. It's the same. So minus 27 fib completion, and then I went till the 4 hour because it's closing below our daily low. So this can be a fake out because it's still in our false break zone, weekly reverse point zone. It's still closing above that. So I went to the 4 hour and I drew my 4 hour zone like this. So I will draw it up again like this. 4 hour zone. Yes, the magnet on, and then it will be okay. So we are still closing above that weekly reverse point zone, daily fake out. And what we can see, we can potentially have here some diesel. We have already here our first candle, the red candle, first candle. Then a second candle here, a blue candle, which is already nice to have. We must have a blue candle. Then we must have the third candle, which will open here, around here, some wick here. And then if the third candle closes like this, then we can look for a potential limit to go to the upside. So on that third candle close, after the third candle close, you can look for a long setup till the daily highs here, daily selling point. You can see a lot of sellers were kicking in here, sellers, you can look for here. Then or for around 5% will be okay on that weekly reverse point. This would be okay to take. So 5%. So then the next one, Euro AUD. If I go on the weekly, what can you see on the weekly? Yeah, the weekly is still bullish. The weekly is having here this bullish M. We're going to complete that bullish M or making potentially that fifth leg to the upside. We have a weekly, very bearish weekly candle close. This can be still a smaller red candle or a bigger one to touch this weekly IC, highs and lows. It can be around that zone. This can happen also. So I went till a daily and I want to see what we have on the daily. So on the daily, we can see that we have here our high, our low, our high, new low, high. This is the same low. So this is our high and the new low. And then we broke above that. So we made a new high, indicational high. So it's an indicational bullish trend forming. So what we can clearly see is that we have here an impulsive move, and then we have here some more corrective nature counter to the trend, as you can see. As you can see, this bullish momentum against this bearish momentum, yeah, you can see the difference. It's not that impulsive going to the downside as it went to the upside. So this is already a sign that the price can the price can having some difficulties at these daily lows, and you can see it acted here as resistance and support. So this can be a nice supply and demand zone. And if you take your Fibonacci from here, maybe the high to the low here, minus 27 fib completion around that zone, yeah, just like this. If you take the whole bearish W from the first leg till that first, second, third leg, so yeah, this can happen. Minus 7 are aligning there. So daily fib completion is sitting there. Daily fib completion. So I will go to the 4 hour now. And on the 4 hour, what can you see? It's coming very impulsive to the downside. So what we want to see is here some diesel or a pattern, and then we can take the trade. Even if we have a weekly very impulsive candle close to the downside. So yeah. Then GBPCAD. If I look on GBPCAD, what can we see? Very impulsive weekly candle close to the downside. And yeah, we can potentially make here some first weekly support because this was clear resistance. So this can act as support because we are having this bigger bullish M. So this this is the first, second, third, or you can see it like this: first, second, third, potential fourth leg going back to the downside. But this is still this is our low, and this is our high, and then this is our low, and this is our higher high. So this is one leg because the wicks didn't close above this wicks here. So that's why I see it as one leg. So yeah, we can go more to the downside. I think we had here also some sellers that got active here. As you can see, sellers kicking in very aggressively. Here, sellers aggressively. Then here also sellers. Yeah, here some support. We have here also some support. So it's a supply and demand zone that can hold the price to the downside. And yeah, I went to the daily then. And what I saw on the daily was we have an indicational bearish trend forming. So we have here our potential shoulder one here, this head, shoulder two, price can come back after that impulse, but I think it will go a little bit lower. And then I think it will potentially go here to make some support and then go to the upside. So this can happen and then potentially make some kind of pullback or go just to the upside or go even more. This is the thing we don't know, but we will see what will happen on GBPCAD. Then AUDCHF. What I can see on AUDCHF, it's something very nice because what we have here our high, this is our new low, we have this bearish W that can play out. We are coming till this previous weekly lower low. This acted as support and now we can act like resistance here if the price come back. So that's very nice. So I went till the daily then. We have that weekly bullish candle close. It's not a problem. The trend is still bearish. And then on the daily, what I saw was daily first leg, second leg, third leg, bearish W holding the price down. Descending trend line, first touch, second touch, potential third touch here for more downside momentum. So I want to see the price coming back a little bit higher to this daily highs to make a potential fake out or a pattern there. And you can see this is an impulsive move and now it's moving more corrective. You had here the bullish M against the daily trend that played out here at the beginning of correction and then we went back to the upside and then we can short here potentially if we form a pattern. So I went to the 4-hour chart. What I saw on the 4-hour chart, we are coming very impulsively after that. Yeah, beginning of correction trade here. That's why we went to the upside. And yeah, now we want to see some corrective nature here with the trend of that 4-hour and yeah, making some pattern diesel or yeah, bearish W. We'll see what will happen. So these are the trades for this upcoming week. I hope you liked it and I see you next week. Bye, guys.